Something happened that should have broken you open and you felt nothing. You did the dishes. You thought it would hit later, and later came and went, and you're still here. Not destroyed, not healed, not even close to either. Strangely okay. And that silence is more unsettling than grief would have been. I'm Sarah. That stillness isn't what you think it is. Something kept you moving. You made the calls. You showed up to things. The version of you that was visible kept going, and sometimes you watched it from somewhere a little further back, almost impressed by its steadiness. People told you that you were so strong, and you heard that and thought, I don't feel strong. I feel like I'm waiting for something that isn't coming. Maybe you tested it, sat with the thought, deliberately, said the words out loud to yourself, hoping to trigger the feeling. And still, that strange quiet. Not peace, not acceptance, not even numbness exactly. More like a waiting room with nothing arriving. Here's what I need you to hear before anything else. That quiet is not evidence of how little you cared. It's evidence of something your brain did on purpose, to protect you. And once you understand what that is, the waiting room starts to make a different kind of sense. Think of the last time you heard news and the information landed in your head before you felt anything about it. You could repeat it back to someone. You could answer questions about it. The processing was happening, the facts registering clearly, with the feelings somehow suspended from everything they meant. When something overwhelming happens, your brain does two things at nearly the same time. It registers what occurred, and it runs a fast calculation. Can the emotional weight of this be processed right now, in the body I'm currently in the situation I'm currently inside? When the answer is too much, the brain does something precise. It doesn't erase the feeling. It routes it. It separates the information from the emotion, lets you hold the facts, keeps you functional, and seals the emotional content into a separate chamber to be processed later. You get to know what happened, you don't get to feel it yet. There's a concept in photography that captures this exactly. When a camera takes a picture, the film records the image the instant the shutter closes, but it records it as a latent image, invisible, encoded, not yet visible to anyone. It has to develop in the dark, on its own schedule. The photograph existed the moment the camera captured it. It couldn't be seen yet. Your feeling existed the moment the thing happened. Your brain classified it as not developable here, not in this, not right now. This is called peritraumatic dissociation. Your brain does it automatically, without consulting you, because it is very good at one thing: keeping you functional at the exact moment functioning matters most. Your brain didn't build this response for this moment. It built it earlier, when you were in environments where emotional flooding would have been costly. For some of you, this has been your response since you were young. You grew up in spaces where falling apart wasn't safe, wasn't an option, or where someone needed you to stay together so they didn't have to. Your brain learned over time that the moment something hard happened was exactly the wrong moment to lose your functioning. So it calibrated a threshold. Above a certain magnitude, route, and continue. The feeling can wait, the situation cannot. For others, nothing has hit at this level before, and this is the first time the mechanism has fired fully. You've handled hard things before and felt them as they happened, which is why this absence feels so wrong. The difference isn't that you care less. The difference is that this one was big enough to cross the threshold. And here's where the paradox lives. The things that mattered most are the ones where you felt the least. Your brain doesn't protect itself from things that don't matter. You don't route minor disappointments. You go offline for the things that could genuinely overwhelm you. The depth of the numbness is evidence of the depth of what your brain registered. The protection scales with the magnitude. You were there. You were present for something that mattered enormously, and your brain had already sent the feeling somewhere you couldn't reach. You said the words, made the calls, showed up for everything the situation asked. And somewhere in the middle of all that, the moment was happening without you fully inside it. That's worth a quiet grief. Not the grief of the event that's still coming on its own schedule. The grief of being present for something that deserved your full feeling and your brain deciding you couldn't carry it yet. You were in the room. You couldn't get to yourself in time. What it took to stay upright in those hours, with your processing offline and the world still requiring things from you, was a specific kind of endurance. Quiet, not dramatic, not visible to anyone. The ongoing work of continuing to exist while your brain filed away something enormous. The feeling will come. It doesn't arrive on a schedule, and it often doesn't arrive the way you expect. But the wait is not evidence that it isn't coming. You didn't feel nothing. You felt too much for the feeling to arrive on time. What was the moment it finally arrived for you? A song, a smell, a random Tuesday? I'm genuinely curious, and if this reached someone you know who's been sitting in that silence, sending it to them is the kindest thing you could do.